So today I wanted to come to you guys with your word creates your world. I want to talk about family matters and I want to talk about forgiveness. They all intertwine together, so stick with me. So let's just call this a daily message. I want to come on and start bringing some more messages like this every single day, if you don't mind. So I was having a conversation. Actually, I've had several conversations about this, and I've had to counsel several people on this particular subject. And your words create your world. You'll get it once I'm done with this, with what I have to say. So I've had a couple of conversations about this, and a lot of people are struggling with family dysfunctionality, besides dysfunction, I would say abuse as well. Abuse, more mental than physical. And because we're not really talking about physical, we're just talking about mental. And I found that it is really a challenge. It doesn't matter what color you are, how old you are. It is and has been an issue. And it also has been an issue as to why many people have hired me for coaching. Because what I find and what many have found is that a lot of your issues and problems go back. They go back to your childhood. They go back to something that has happened to you, something that continues to happen to you, or whatever the case may be. And since I have somewhat of a similar story, I can definitely relate. And I know that there are definitely things that I personally have done to change the trajectory of how I see myself, how I see and receive my family members, and And so I was recently having a conversation, and this person was really hurting. It's after years and years and years of going through this and being mistreated and being told this, that, and the other, or being called names and things of that nature, and these are the people that are closest to you, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. But one thing that I was able to offer was, just like I said, your worlds create your world. Your words create your world. And to me, that means that when you're in those type of situations where someone is speaking to you in a way that you don't deserve, or treating you in a way that you don't deserve, and you're really kind of confused as to why are we arguing, or why are you yelling, or whatever the case may be, especially when it's not warranted, when it's just coming out of nowhere. We discussed boundaries. We need boundaries. We need boundaries, honestly, with everyone, whether it's a coworker, a boss, a family member, a friend. We need boundaries because there are times that we have allowed, and it could be in the past, that we have allowed people to just kind of do what they want, treat us however, and that has to stop, or else it will continue. And it doesn't have to stop with giving them back the same energy that they give you, but it has to stop with your language, with your words, and also with your actions, but definitely with your words. So in other words, if you have let's just say you have a family member that has always treated you unfairly, and maybe calls you names or talks to you out of the way, instead of coming back to them with what it is that they're coming back with, I find that a lot of times it helps if you come back to them in a very calm and soothing voice, but very matter of fact. For example, if someone, you told someone something and what they regurgitated back to you was something totally different that had absolutely nothing to do with anything, you could just ask a simple question like, well, actually, that is not what I said. I actually said blah, blah, blah. did you get confused by what I said, or did you hear something different? In that way, first of all, you're talking to them in a very calm and soothing voice, right? You actually are not emotional, so you're not angry, sad, whatever. And you're kind of sort of putting it back on them because you want to know or want to ask them or want them to think, where did this come from, right? Where did I get this from? And also, you can even add, the fact that you said that something totally different than what I just told you, it hurts my feelings that you would think that I would do blah, 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 or you would think that I, said this because I would never do that. Those kind of words, that kind of way, and that kind of like even keel where you're here. They might be here, but you're here. They could even be here, but you're here. Like when you stay calm and you don't give them back the energy that they gave you, a lot of times that puts you kind of sort of in the driver's seat. Because what normally would happen is that whatever energy they give you, so if they're yelling, if they're coming at you or whatever, you're going back at them, and it's kind of sort of a recipe for whatever it is that they're giving you and you give back. That's kind of sort of how things go, right? So it escalates, it turns into an argument or a debate or whatever the case may be. It escalates to someone hanging up on the other person or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, it's not necessary. It is not easy. Let me just say this. So that's where the forgiveness comes in with family affairs. That's where the choosing to do something differently comes in. And that is you choosing that you are going to forgive them so that they don't have any control over you anymore. I think a lot of people think forgiveness is like letting that person go or letting them off the hook and things of that nature, and that's really not what it is. Forgiveness is for you. A lot of people are walking around and have not forgiven someone, and that person has gone on about their day, they've gone on about their week, month, year, they've gone on about their life, and you are still mad at them, and they are chilling. And that's what I mean. When you find it in yourself, and I'm not going to say that it's easy, but when you find it in yourself to forgive that person, we're not saying that you've forgotten, but you forgive that person, right? You forgive them, or you work at forgiving them until you can forgive that person. But the idea is to look at them in a different way, because maybe there is something there that maybe have happened to them, and maybe they don't know any better. Like maybe they just literally don't know any better than to do what they're doing to you, because that's what was done to them and that was done to that person, and so on and so forth. We're really literally talking about breaking generational curses, honestly. And so I know that the way that I'm talking about it makes it seem like it's the easiest thing to do, and I don't want that to come across that way. I have literally had to change my thought process, the way that I speak, the way that I think, and everything. And it has taken me several years. So this information is coming from the horse's mouth, basically. And the reason why I was even able to do any of that is because my pastor, one Sunday, was speaking about family. And she was basically, this is not exactly what she said, but I'm going to paraphrase. Basically, she was saying that she knows that we have family members that, may be difficult, or that we may have, issues with, or that we may not get along with, and things of that nature. But she was imploring us to forgive them. And she was imploring us to forgive them for that very reason, that that person is going to continue going on with their life, and you are going to be sitting back here like, I can't believe she did this. I mean, here it is 10 years later and you're still talking about it, right? And that person has gone on about their business. They literally could have forgotten what it is that they did or what it is that they do. And so basically she was saying that when you forgive them and when you are able to communicate with them in a way that is healthier for you, and that it can come across healthier for them, the interaction that you'll be able to receive is something totally different than what it is that you'll expect, because you're not coming back at them with the same vigor that they're coming at you with. And at the time that I heard that teaching, I did not agree with it, and it pissed me off. But as time has gone on, I have used those very tools and exactly what it is that she was saying to change the trajectory of a lot of my relationships. And that just comes from healing and working on things and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean that this video cannot help you. This video can help you a lot if you just listen to what it is that I'm saying, take it in, let it marinate. You know, get pissed if you want to. It's okay, especially if it's the first time you're hearing it. By the way, can you please like and comment below if you've had any of these type of issues before? I would love to talk to you, hear your stories, things of that nature. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, now back to what I was saying. So I was coming to the end. One of the things that I would like to say about this subject is that when you really have a true relationship with God, because this is where a lot of this is coming from. Forgiveness normally comes from a deeper place, right? Or you feeling like you're doing what God would have you do, or whatever the case may be. And that's where it came from for me. Spiritual guidance, just getting out, what would Jesus do kind of thing. But in the end, once you're able to forgive and once you're able to work through all of your feelings and things of that nature, it is very healing to be able to deal with someone who may have been difficult all your life, or to deal with someone that you actually love, but they are a piece of work and stuff like that. When you're able to come back and just kind of calm down all of the drama, or if you can't, finding the boundaries that you need that are healthy for you. So in other words, if this person is someone who causes you angst and you're constantly having to correct their behavior and things of that nature, maybe you don't come around them as often. Maybe you don't, if you're constantly getting into arguments every time you call them, well, maybe you call them once a month. Because, the familiarity is totally different. If I call you once a week and now I'm just calling you once a month, maybe you'll have a little bit more to talk about. I don't know. Or maybe things won't go as they have in the past. I'm not sure. It's really up to you, and it's really how you feel. And I think that also goes along with the spiritual guidance. If you feel a certain way about someone, or when you're around someone and things of that nature, you don't have to go through that type of abuse and mistreatment and things of that nature. So you can choose to love them from afar. You can choose to love them from afar. There's different things that you can do to protect yourself. Because a lot of times we're always sacrificing ourselves for other people, and sometimes we don't receive that back. We don't receive that back. And so it is something also to take into account: the forgiveness when dealing with family, and the words that we use, but also the actions that we take. So I'm going to leave this here. This is the daily message for the day about your word creates your world, family affairs, and forgiveness. I'll see you tomorrow.